one big thing.
It is rare that a superstar so pointedly and critically calls out another, but it happened with LeBron James passing on jabs to throw haymakers at Charles Barkley. The term shot fired, I think, is overused. You can label this whatever you'd like, but it was the type of thing that as I read it very late last night or early in the morning made me say out loud, damn. And that rarely happens. What catches my attention is how specifically James rattles off the critiques. And it reminded me of when he was on with us after the Cavs won the title last year, and I'll tell you why. Back in June, James had a laundry list of the specific moments where Cleveland sports fans had been brutally disappointed. He cataloged them from memory because those examples were right here at the front of his mind. He knew the scores, he knew the details, so instead of a vague statement about how Cleveland had suffered, he had the details, which makes the statement, I think, more impactful. After Barkley called James inappropriate and whiny for his comments about the Cavaliers roster, LeBron decided he wasn't going to allow Barkley's comments to go unchecked. Quote, "I'm not going to let him disrespect my legacy like that," close quote. James then proceeded to go through specific examples of Barkley's missteps, asked what made Barkley credible, and said, quote, "Screw Charles Barkley," close quote. Dwayne Wade backed his former teammate, saying Tuesday about James, "Thank God he finally said something," while saying of Barkley, "He's acting like he just walks on water." Now, people love Charles. I love Charles because he says whatever he thinks. He's the star of TNT's Inside the NBA, which, as you know, is as popular a sports show as there is on television. I was interested to see what specifically Charles chose to respond to because there was a lot to unpack. He went on Chicago radio with Waddle and Sylvie, and Barkley had the following.
This notion that we have to be friends, we're never going to be friends. You know, my job is to do my job, but I do understand this is a different generation where anytime you say something about young guys, they take it personally.
There is certainly the generational disconnect in play here. As another example, Chuck doesn't love the way the Warriors play, and he has drawn their ire and their fans' ire as well. But like the Joker in The Dark Knight, Barkley could say to anyone who has beef with him, "You have nothing to threaten me with." It's just unusual to see one giant challenge another so forcefully. Would this have happened if Cleveland didn't lose for the 7th time in 11 games last night? Impossible to know, but you could certainly guess not. There'll be plenty of guesses about the specific motivations and frustrations, about whether James is worn out mentally or physically. Maybe he's just worn out with people nitpicking every single thing he does. And the specifics James had right here to fire at Barkley make it evident to me that it's not the first time he thought about saying something. He just finally did, and now here we are.